BlaXit family, BlaXit family. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Hello, BlaXit family. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Let me just adjust this, sorry. Oh, I've put the other mic in. So tell me, I'm using a different microphone today. So it's important. Oops, and a different thingy. And it seems to have gone a bit funny. Just give me a minute. The whole phone just fell backwards. And I hope the microphone isn't too much in the way. So I hope it's stable as well. So can you hear me? Can you see me? Hello? Oops. BlaXit family, BlaXit family, BlaXit family. Can you let me know if you can hear me and see me? If you can hear me and see me. Welcome BlaXit family, welcome BlaXit family, welcome BlaXit family. Our moderator today is Cafre, so all please welcome Cafre. And thank you, Cafre, very much for moderating today. And thank you to everybody that is joining us on today's live. Welcome, welcome, welcome to BlaXit. And as you know, Kath, can you just reload the thing for me? I've forgotten my password. Kath, on my computer. Sorry, I had to change it. So I just want to get some notes up. So how are you? How are you? Since last week, how have you been? How's your week been? How have you all been? This is Nyancho Kajabi, aka Juliet. I am the CEO and founder of BlaXit. And BlaXit is all about your repatriation, relocation back to your nation. And thank you very much. How do I move this up? It's not moving. Sorry, my thing's frozen, my computer's frozen. How do I move this up? I've moved it, it's not moving. Why is it not moving for me then? Oh. Still not moving. It's editing instead. Sorry about that, BlaXit family. Anyway, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. I do hope that you are well and you're having a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And I hope your week has been amazing. Mine has been a bit of a mixed bag this week. Firstly, I'd like to say it was the birthday week for my daughter, so happy birthday to you, princess. And, you know, I'm very proud to be your mum. I'm very proud of your accomplishments. Let's move this down a bit. I'm not used to this new mic, so you have to bear with me. I'm just getting used to it. And also this fan is in my eyes, so I'm just resetting up my thing because I've now got the computer on the desk with me. So I've had to literally move everything about and I'm not quite comfortable with the setup. So just bear with me until I'm happy with it. I think that's a bit better because then I can see the computer and talk to you at the same time and also on the mic. So welcome, 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 welcome. What a week, what a week, what a week. Can you hear and see me okay? Let me say hello. Who's here first? Lidu. Hello, are you? Lidu X1R. Yeah, hi Nick. Yeah, how are you? And thank you so much for joining BlaXit this week. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're in dangerous times. Anyway, if you're not sure about BlaXit, BlaXit is all about your repatriation, relocation back to your nation. This week is a mixed bag week. We have phenomenal news. We're launching another 16 repatriation land plots in the beautiful Gambia Riviera, which is called Khartoum. Wonderful, beautiful area with beautiful beaches, beautiful rivers, beautiful agriculture, beautiful village, lovely people. And as you know, we did have an estate there previously called Serenity One, which sold out very quickly. So we have now announced Serenity. Aha, we're live now again. I'm so sorry. We were having a technical issue, so I do apologize. How are you? How are you? How are you? Thank you for waiting. I'm sorry about the disturbance. Hello, Fathia. How are you? How is everything? How's the family? And how is Minneapolis, America? Do let me know how you're all getting on. And Landpuri, how are you? 5656. Greetings, greetings. Thank you so much for joining, and I do apologize for the break. I can see a few of you left thinking that the broadcast has stopped. No, it hadn't. It just seemed like some form of interruption. But I would like to give you this great news. So I did, send out my well wishes to Bla Xit Family, who had some issues this week. As you know, like I said to you, my production team was on the road and had an unfortunate car accident. So I was asking you to please send some well wishes out to the BlaXit team, BlaXit production team, who were involved in a car accident this week. Okay, I was not actually on that shoot. They were doing the background shot, so I was not actually there. Fortunately, thank you so much, to our divine parents and the ancestors and my spirit team for making sure I wasn't there, because it could have been serious. So anyway, in saying that, a lot of things have been happening in the Pan-African world, and and in Africa in general, and I want to bring you up to speed because, listen, BlaXit Family, it is happening now. It is happening now. We've been talking about it. We've been getting excited about it. We've been talking about the changes being made in Africa. We've been talking about, us coming back. We've been talking about reparations. We've been talking about repatriation. And we know that reparations is a must. And guess what? It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Because guess what happened last week? Okay, so we did a live. I want to thank our guest last week, both Dr. Ali. I was hoping that you'd be able to come on this week, but unfortunately that hasn't been the case. But I would like to thank Brother Eugene for coming on last week, Eugene Talford. So anyway, the African Union has intensified its stance on historical injustices by officially recognizing colonialism and apartheid and the transatlantic slave trade as crimes against humanity. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean? Let's unpack it. If you don't know, right, it's a very, very important step in the right direction for us. Now, apartheid, yes, apartheid was recognized, and I'll probably talk a little bit about apartheid in a second and give you a little bit of background, right? But as well as this move, I don't know if you know, but if you know me from the UK, you would know that in 2017, we decided to create a day, which I think was the 30th of October, as a day to memorialize our ancestors. And we had a huge protest in London outside of Freeport Moran and BP's headquarters. I think it was in James Square, something like that, where we decided to commemorate all the people that had died also during the genocide in West Papua. And so we teamed up with the Free West Papua movement, and we had a big demonstration there. And we were also calling on all of our organizations, including the African Union, to have a day to commemorate the death of all of our ancestors through slavery and through the enslavement of our ancestors, which was, of course, was a war, a genocide. And of course, also apartheid. And of course, all of the crimes that have been committed against us, unlawful imprisonment, unlawful death in these institutions as well. And so this is a fantastic step in the right direction, because they have also established a formal holiday. Do you hear me? Finally, we have one. We have one. We have one. We have one. This is amazing. We have one. It's called the African Day of Tribute. It is called the African Day of Tribute, and it's going to be every November 30th. So that day will as far as I know, become a national holiday in Africa. But I'm hoping, well, not I'm hoping, let me take that away. Yeah. Let's plan to make it a global day, because they are supposed to ensure that we have this public holiday. That's it. It's a demand. It's not even a request. Let me change my language up, because we have to start changing up our language. So now the 30th of November is to formally tribute, right? A day of tribute for our ancestors, finally. For how many millions and millions of people that died during slavery? They said it was 12 million. I'm sure it was more. Yeah, official figures always try to make it look smaller, but I'm sure it was more. In this book, if you remember when we were going through it, we were talking about this, and I did highlight so many points within this book. It might have been the other one actually that I highlighted. I think this is one I was going to give away, but no one actually got back to me about that. But like I said, it is very, very important that our ancestors are remembered, and of course are given their day. They have their day for World War I, V1, V2. They have their days that they have off. They have their poppies. They have everything that they have for their people. And remember, our people died there during those wars as well, and so they should also be commemorated. So it's about time that we had a day to commemorate our ancestors, and I am so happy that this has been done officially. So basically, just to give you a bit of background context, okay? So I'm going to tell you again, the African Union has intensified its stance on historical injustices by officially recognizing colonialism, apartheid, and the transatlantic slave trade as crimes against humanity, and in some interpretations, genocide. This move is a part of the 2025 to 2036 push, which is which I told you is the decade of reparations, which is to push and secure reparatory justice. We spoke about this before, so I'm speaking about it again to show you the context of now action being followed by words. And I am so happy, because I did speak about this, and we have spoken about this before, and it is to establish a formal African Day of Tribute, and also to demand accountability from the former colonial people that felt that they were powers. Okay, so just to give you a bit of background information about this AU initiative. So the context of the 2025-2026 momentum is that the AU designated 2025 as the year of justice for Africans and African people of African descent through reparations. I'm sure you remember me saying this before, okay? If you weren't here, then I'm telling you now. So welcome to BlaXit. For all of you that have joined, let me say hello to you. Hello, Willie Rivers. Hello. Nice to see you here. Thank you so much for joining. You're in A1 day one, so big respect to you. And also Guarda 9, Hotep to you as well, okay? So welcome, welcome. So we are making moves. We are making moves. So all those people that doubted us, start to believe in us. Start to believe in us. Being on the continent for me, living here in Africa for me. I've been living here, I've been coming to Africa for over 32 years, as you know. Okay, and I've been coming here to Gambia for 15 years this year, okay, as you know. And it's important for us to make that connection. Now, what does this mean? When I was in the UK, I was campaigning for reparations, okay, because reason why, we were paying taxes. We were paying taxes to compensate the enslavers. I also did a program about that as well, and I went into the background of it and told you how it was being done by Her Majesty's Treasury, and how I tried to seek those reparations in form of I asked for my taxes to be repaid, not just mine, but those of also my family members. And I called Her Majesty's Custom Office, and they thought it was hilarious and laughed at me, but they will not be laughing now. They will not be laughing now because things are getting formalized. Okay? Hello from Snowy Chilly, Chicago. Hi, Pro, and how are you? Yeah? Welcome to BlaXit. Thank you for joining us. Okay? So they will be laughing on the other side of their faces because things are getting formalized. So as I said, the momentum of the 2025-2026 decade, the momentum is that the AU designated that on 2025 as the year of justice for Africans and people of African descent through reparations. This initiative seeks to move beyond symbolic gestures to address the economic, social, and psychological legacies of colonial rule and apartheid. Let me take a sip of water. Hang on, heavy tongue. Okay, so it seeks to address the economic is very important, by the way, social and psychological legacies of colonial rule and apartheid. Okay, the Algiers Declaration, and it's weird because I was talking about Aisha Speed's experience in Algeria the other day and some of the racism. So it's so bizarre that the Algiers Declaration was actually made in Algeria in 2025. And the declaration stemmed from an earlier meeting in Algiers, which called for the criminalization of colonialism and the restitution of cultural artifacts. But more important than that is the restitution of the people, which is us, which are the descendants of our ancestors who were enslaved, who were captured, who were tortured, who were human trafficked, who were taken against their will, who were subject to the most inhumane treatment of any peoples on the face of the planet over that period of time. And so it's also the acknowledgement of the environmental damage as well, caused by the colonial exploitation, which is still happening today. The colonial exploitation is still happening today. Key drivers are the initiative is spearheaded by leaders like Ghana's former president, John Dramani Mahama, okay? And he's the AU champion for reparations. So good on you. Thank you so much to you, President John Dramani Mahama of Ghana. And I'm so glad that you also did a U-turn on the plans to charge sort of manumissions to us with regard to our right to return. So I'm glad that you also reviewed that, because that was something that I was very concerned about, and I did voice my concerns, but happily to say that on that same day I did receive a letter stating that it was now under review. So I'm so glad that that was reviewed, because it doesn't send out the right signal. And so he is a champion for AU reparations, and he's there to unify the continent on a legal and diplomatic front, and he is doing a good job thus far. So part of that unification has to also be seen what Ghana has been doing on the front of the right to return and the door of return and the various initiatives that they have done, and making us also a sixth region in their country is very important. And so we have to give credit where credit is due, okay? We really do. They are making moves and they are welcoming us back, and we are going back to Africa. And I have already returned for many, many years now, as you know, and I'm preaching for you to come back. I'm a repatriationist, as you know, and part of my job is to bring you back to Africa safely and allow you to settle and live here and enjoy your life. Okay, that is what I am here for, and that is my mission, that is my purpose. And this is what I do. I want you to come back, and I try and facilitate that in the best way. I do facilitate. I don't try. I do facilitate it in the best way possible. Okay. So the 39th AU Summit adoption was in February 2026. It was on I think it was the 14th of February to the 15th of February 2026. And that was when we was actually going live last week, but I didn't have full confirmation, so I didn't want to discuss until I was totally certain. And so I'm certain now. So here we are discussing it. So in the summit that was held on the 14th and 15th of February, which was the 39th session of the AU summit, adoption was made in Addis Ababa. I hope I'm saying it correctly. Addis Ababa. The AU leaders formalized these positions, aiming to take the case to the United Nations and to the General Assembly. Thank goodness for that. Now, I don't trust the United Nations. I'm not going to lie. I have, been to, in fact, when I think it was Ban Ki-moon was the chairman, I went to a session in the UK. I was appealing, obviously, about West Papua, because the the UN has done a great injustice to the peoples of West Papua by giving administrational rule of their country, treating them as though they're children, and they cannot have their own self-dependence and self-reliance, and allowing Indonesia via America and other nations and Australia in order to go there and to take their all of their resources, natural resources, especially their gold. Freeport Moran is there mining their gold. If you don't believe me, go and have a look online and see the damage that they're doing to West Papuan people. Over 500,000 West Papuan people have died during this silent genocide that no one wants to talk about, while they just take their resources, take control of their land, and of course colonize. And it's apartheid to me. What's going on in West Papua is apartheid, and people aren't talking about it, but we need to talk about it. We're being silent on these things while our people are dying. So please, if you're interested, go to the Free West Papua movement online, okay, and sign up, and please help, because they need as much help as they can get. Okay, I did actually do some undercover filming there via a contact that I have there, and it did actually get released on the BBC. So I was grateful for that, and grateful to my colleagues who helped me to put it out in order to make more exposure. And of course, some of our protests also got into BuzzFeed and other things. But we need you to help to make sure that becomes public knowledge, so that we push for it, because it's become a silent genocide, and I'm very concerned about our people who left West Africa, they say over 75,000 years ago, and settled in Melanesia. So anyway, so I was saying that the 39th AU Summit adoption has now, these African leaders have now formalized these positions and are aiming to take the case to the United Nations and the General Assembly. And it's also about solidarity with other nations, which includes Palestine, but we need to think about West Papua as well, our own people as well. Okay, so declaring colonization a crime against humanity, while also expressing solidarity with Palestinians, but it should also have been West Papuans, okay, in what was described as the extermination of the Palestine people, but also the extermination of the West Papuan people, okay, who are from an African historical background. So that is important, that we should do that. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm doing something to this computer and I've got no idea what I'm doing. So apartheid as a crime, as you know, apartheid was officially defined as a crime against humanity by the UN in 1973, okay? And it was on the Convention of the Suppression and Punishment of the crime of apartheid, and the AU's recent move reaffirms this long-standing position while broadening the scope to include all colonial era exploitation and, colonial era systematic and systemic, let me add, systemic exploitation. So the focus of reparations, I think, is important, and I'm going to talk to this because for such a long time now, it's as though people were starting to lose, I guess, motivation and momentum so far as reparations are concerned. And I want you to know that we should not. This is the right time for us to regain our interest if we've lost it, for us to start participating. And don't worry about infighting and politics. There'll always be that. You know, what's most important is the goal. And this is what I want to talk to. The goal is about us getting justice. And it is well overdue, well overdue. Okay? So it says the reparations focus, the goal is to address the structural inequalities such as underdevelopment and debt that the AU argues, the AU states, I'm not even saying they're going to argue because this is a statement, that were created by colonial domination, and they were created by colonial domination. They were created by colonial domination. There's no doubt about it. I'm having to return to Africa off of my own speed. You're having to return to Africa off of your own speed. You're not returning to Africa because there was a reparations package in place for you in order to create restitution so that we may go back to the land of our ancestors. No. What amends have they made? What moves have they actually made to put things right? And I'm not talking about no lip syncing, word syncing, fake apology, no effort apology to say we're sorry. What sorry can do for me? What can sorry do for me? What can sorry do for you? You need to have a package that includes and is not limited to not just financial restitution, but colonial restitution. They took all of the prime lands. They took all of the resources, natural resources, gave themselves rights, took the land and gave themselves rights. And when I tell you about come to Africa and get your land, because land is one of the original and most important resources that you'll have. That's why when you watch, of the Thrones and all these, I can't remember what it's called, right? Right? Of the Thrones and all of these, it's all about land, appropriation of land, control of the resources of the land and control of the people. And that is what they have done. So they say the goal is to address the structural inequalities such as underdevelopment and debt. The AU argues, the AU states that they were created by colonial domination. The Africa Day of Tribute, member states have agreed that on November the 30th as a day of remembrance for martyrs of the transatlantic slave trade, colonialism and apartheid. The AU is now seeking international recognition of these crimes to facilitate legal claims for reparations. Legal claims, right? Now, when the law is run by the same people that enslaved your ancestors, how's that going to work out? I don't know, but we have to keep trying, okay? So not trying, we have to keep doing. I've got to get rid of that word trying. Trying implicates that, it's an effort only half made. And we are now doing. We are not trying, we are actually doing. And that is so important to make the distinction between the two. And so remembrance of martyrs of the transatlantic slave trade, colonialism and apartheid. The AU is seeking international recognition of these crimes to facilitate legal claims for reparations with a focus on working with the UN and the International Courts of Justice. In February 2026, the AU took a historical step at the 39 ordinary session by formally adopting a resolution that classifies colonialism, slavery, and forced deportations as crimes against humanity, genocide against the African people. So actually what's happening in America is that apartheid. Is what ICE is doing is apartheid. So listen, let me read some of your comments and say hello to you. Delroy says Papua New Guinea. Yeah, West Papua. That's right, West Papua. It was divided into two, if you're not aware. And Australia was given governance of half, and Indonesia took administrational control of the other half. Yeah. So good morning, everybody. Hello to Mo504. Greetings and welcome to BlaXit. Thanks for joining. So what do you think about this move? What do you think about this move? I really want to get your opinions on what do you think about, I really would like to get your opinion on what do you think about this move, and what can we do to help progress it. It's important, okay? So just a little bit of background. The Algiers Declaration that was made in 2025, was the foundation for this resolution, the Algiers Resolution, and that was drafted in December 2025. And that itself, like I said, called for the criminalization of colonization, which it should have been, and it is long overdue, and I'm so glad that they've made this move. So I want to say thank you to all of the member states, African member states, that has made this move, because this is an important step in the right direction. It's a leap, in fact, and it's important that reparations is taken seriously, not just by, not just by grassroots organizations, not just by fringe organizations, not just by influencers online, but by institutions and organizations that have been set up to represent us. This is so important, okay? And so it called for the criminalization of colonization in all of its forms, and also urged for former colonial powers to recognize their historical responsibilities. It's about time sorry, I'm shaking the phone, right? It's about time. It's because I'm shaking the desk because I'm punching my fist, right? Because, that's how I feel. I feel so, I feel so angry on behalf of our ancestors. And I'm so glad that they have a day. Honestly, when I heard this news, I was so tearful. Like last week, you might have seen that I was a little bit tearful. I was reading about Malcolm X as well, but I was also reading about this. And that's why I was emotional. And I was just hoping that it was a reality. And it is a reality. It is a reality. And, this new Remembrance Day is so important and so crucial for us. And it is a day for us to formally also demand reparation from all of those nations in all ways and forms. It's time for us to start using social media and taking to social media in live again. I'm so sorry. I do apologize. I honestly don't know. Every time I seem to hit a key point, I seem to be disconnected. So good morning to you as well. So I was saying that, the Algiers Declaration is important because it called for the criminalization of colonialism in all of its forms. And it urged for former colonial powers to recognize their historical responsibilities. How long are these royal families going to get away with it? How long are these European countries going to get away with it? How long is France still going to continue its rampage in Africa? How long are they still going to continue their economic exploitation of African countries? We can use this day to help to motivate us, to help to encourage us to remember what was done to our ancestors, and also what is still being done on the continent today, and also what is still being done to our people in the colonizers' countries, the racism and discrimination that is going on there, and the unlawful deaths that are still taking place there today. Okay? So anyway, so they designated November 30th, like I said, as the day of tribute to African martyrs and victims of transatlantic slave trade and, of course, colonization and apartheid. And it is a shift in the reparations. Like I said, this is an important move to focus on reparatory justice. And it's important. It's very important. And a primary motivation for the resolution is also that, unlike apartheid, let me just say, which is explicitly outlawed by the Rome Statute and the 1973 Apartheid Convention, colonialism itself lacks a unified definition as a crime in all major international treaties. Let me say that again, okay? There is a very important motivation for this act, okay? And that is because there is a legal gap, right? That is that the resolution, right, unlike apartheid, listen to me clearly, unlike apartheid, which is explicitly outlawed by the Rome Statute. So you see how they make their laws, right, to benefit them, okay? And the 1973 Apartheid Convention, right, colonialism itself lacks a unified definition as a crime in major international treaties. So during this AU summit, during this the AU adoption, the global solidarity was done during this summit, and the AU chairperson Mahmoud Ali Yusuf explicitly linked Entry Connect. Okay, so I worked it out. My don't disturb comes on. Every time someone calls me, it's disconnecting. I don't know how to stop that from happening, so I do apologize. But I will make this week's live very short because of the disturbance. But I would like to say that what's important is that this is an important day. It's an important legislation. It's an important stance. Let me just put it that way. It's an important stance for us to have this formally defined, because definition is important, and having slavery defined as a crime is very, very important. Apartheid defined as a crime, colonization defined as a crime is really, really important. I can't overstate to you how important this is for all of us. This is so crucial. And it is a step in the right direction. And for everybody that has been fighting for reparations, for everybody that has been fighting to repatriate, you know, this is a step, a leap and a jump and a sprint in the right direction for all of us. As Africans, I want you to celebrate today. I want you to celebrate today. Put on your crowns and celebrate today. Kings and queens, put on your crowns and celebrate today. Okay, this is so important. Okay, this recent push by the AU, is building on a century of international law regarding apartheid. Okay, and we mustn't forget apartheid and what happened to our brothers and sisters there. Under the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court, apartheid is defined as inhumane acts. I'm just giving you the facts, okay, as it stands now. So the definition, just to show you why definition is so important, okay. The AU's recent push builds on a century of international law regarding apartheid. The definition, I'm going to read it to you. The definition under the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court, apartheid is defined as inhumane acts committed in the context of an institutionalized regime of systematic oppression and domination by one racial group over any other. Okay, I hope you heard me. I'm going to say it again, just for clarity. The definition, right, this is the existing framework. This is why it's important for us to define slavery as a criminal act and colonization as a criminal act. This is why it's so important, right? We have to have it defined that way. This is important. This will give us the leverage, the legal leverage that we are going to need to push forward. Now all African nations are unified, have come together in unity about this. This is so important to us. Can you imagine a day when there would have been a unified front by everybody calling for reparations? Well, the day is here. The day is here. Yeah, it happened in December, but now it's been formally adopted. So don't think that Africa is sleeping. Africa is not sleeping. Okay, 54 nations, and it's formally adopted. 54 African nations all agree that slavery was a criminal act. Apartheid was a criminal act, and that colonization is a criminal act. They've come together as one formalized, unified group, unified organization, unified nation, unified continent. Celebrate today, fam. Celebrate today. Yeah? We've been waiting so long for this. We've been waiting so long for this. I know that, they've tried to stop my views. I know they've tried to stop my voice. I know they've tried to destroy my character. I know they've done everything to try and stop me from getting a message out to you, to tell you to come back to Africa, for you to really see Africa as your home. I know they've tried to do everything. Yeah, and even like I said, I'm even worried about my team. But listen, we have to keep coming. We have to keep pushing. We have to keep moving forward. You have to keep coming. And I'm launching the next 16 plots, And remember, you only have to, for the first 10 plots, I am going to, these are beautiful plots in beautiful location. You will be seeing it on the main channel soon, right? As soon as my team's back on their feet, I will be going there to film, okay? And show you these beautiful plots in Khartoum, right? They are beautiful, and it is a place where you would want to call home. It is a place where you would be surrounded by natural beauty, nature, peace, and serenity. And you're like literally less than 10 minutes walk to the river. It's absolutely beautiful. You're less than 15 minutes drive to the beach, and you're surrounded by your people in a village, a beautiful village. And this village has also got historical relative importance, which I will be sharing on the main channel. So please listen to me. When I say come, I mean come. And I say to you, you only have to put down a deposit, you understand, to secure your pot. That's all you have to do. You can reserve it for free, but in order to keep it, you need to, I'll reserve it for a week for free, but you have to put down a deposit in order to secure it. And then you can pay off as you go. But get your land, have somewhere else to go to, have somewhere that you can have for your grandchildren to go to, your children to go to. Because let me tell you something, when this reparations war starts, it's going to be a war, and we are going to have to choose what side we are on. Isfet or Ma'at. As I said before, Isfet, destruction. Ma'at, unity and evolution. You have to decide. Okay? So, like I said, the status at the moment is that it's considered, apartheid is considered as a peremptory term, a preemptory norm, meaning that it's just a fundamental principle of international law that is binding on all states regardless of treaty status. But it's not the same as having a situation where it's being seen as a crime, okay? It has to be seen as a crime, not just a term. Okay, and that is what is important, because South Africa and Stephen Biko, rest in power, my ancestor. Okay, rest in power. Where's the reparations for his family? Where's the compensation for his family? All of the freedom fighters. I call all of the freedom fighters. It's time for you to stand up now. All of you warriors, I am calling you. It's time for us to stand up now. Everybody start making badges, start making t-shirts, start making statements that say, pay us reparations. Yeah? Pay us our reparations. Let's all start wearing pins and, t-shirts and hoodies and bags and everything that says pay us reparations. Go into work wearing a blouse and the material has, made into it. Those people that make fabrics, make some fabric that says, pay us our reparations. Everybody, no matter where you go, make a statement, pay us our reparations. Hashtag, pay us our reparations on everything. And we start writing to all those organizations, all of those rich families. You have the names. I shared all that information with you when we were doing about sugar and slavery. I shared with you on the lives. And if I have to make a program, going through the process of how to do it, I will. If you need it, I will. Because some people did actually contact me, and I did help them to go into the database, the UCL database, in order to find out about their families and also how much they were sold for. So please, the information is there. And I'm always willing to share and to help. But I also need you to come onto the continent, to come into Africa. Because let me tell you something, karma is going to hit these countries for what they have done to us, and you don't need to be there to be a part of their punishment. You see part of the Epstein files? I was told, and I'm still researching them myself, and if you don't know how to do it, you can go into the Ministry of Justice and go and look at the Epstein files yourself. I suggest you do, because there's some important information about us there that's not being talked about. Go into the Epstein files and check yourself. You can go into the Ministry of Justice and you can go into, just do a search on the Ministry of Justice and then go inside the Epstein files. Yes, there's a lot of information there, but you can look and dig, because there's stuff about some information and medical research that apparently they were looking into doing on particularly Nigerian women. Whether it's true or not, I would have to read more information and get more information about it. But why are they doing that? Why are they doing that? And you know why. Okay? So this is important to us, and our melanin is important to us. We must always remember how important our melanin is to us. But today, this program was specifically to talk about, this wonderful act that has happened, okay, by the African Union, by all of the member states of the African Union. This initiative is a fantastic one, and it is the best one that has been made in years. The year of reparations was great. The decade of reparations was amazing. But this one here, oh my goodness, this one here, the 30th of November, we are all going to have to do something very special. If you've got any ideas, get back in contact with BlaXit and let me know. If you would like to reserve one of the plots, please also let me know as soon as possible. Okay, I'll give you all information via WhatsApp. As you know, we have lots of foes watching who will do their best to try and destroy our progress and sabotage our progress. So I don't give out too much information anymore. But I will say to you, that is one of the locations. There's also Neneto Sion. There is also Bussorah. There is also Bussorah, which is the largest settlement for the aspirants here in the Gambia. So you can also join. Bussorah. If you would like to go and live there. There's also plots there. There are also ready-made houses if you're interested as well. And in addition to that, there's also a plot in Gunjur. Okay, so please get in contact with me as soon as possible, and let me know your thoughts on this subject. And how do you feel today? I want you to feel proud today that we finally have a day to commemorate our ancestors that were enslaved. Imagine all of this time. I feel emotional. I'm not going to lie to you. I feel so emotional today. Imagine all of these years. Other nations, they can commemorate their ancestors. They can commemorate whether, is what they called the genocide of people who died during the Second World War, the Jewish Holocaust. Yeah, everybody's had their day. Whether it was for the people of Japan whether it was for the people who died in the war. They've all got their days. They've all got their days. Native Indians, they have their day. Everybody has their day. And look at what we had to suffer, and we never had our day. So we finally have our official day, which is the 30th of November, right? Which is going to be a national holiday here in Africa. I am so happy that we're finally, Africa is commemorating our ancestors, which is why we ended up in the diaspora, which is why we ended up in the UK, which is why we ended up in America. I know like many of us have embraced those places as our home, but I never embraced UK as my home because it never felt like home to me. And I never felt at home with those people. It's like living with the enemy. How can you feel comfortable? How? How can you feel comfortable living with the enemy? You know what they've done to you. You know what they're still continuing to do to you. White teeth don't make smile. Because they're still wanting to stab you in your back. But this momentum that is happening in Africa now, you have to get on board. You have to get involved. You have to. This is history in the making. This is history in the making. I'm so moved that we have a day to commemorate our ancestors. Finally, the 30th of November, we have a day to commemorate our ancestors. Thank you to the AU. We have a formal day in which is our day for our ancestors, for those people who died in fighting for colonialism. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Harriet Tubman, none of the Maroons, all of our heroes and our sheroes. Marcus Garvey, Honorable Messiah Marcus Garvey, all of them, we can honor them on this day. All of our ancestors that died, that didn't even make it. All of our ancestors whose lifespan was just 10 years because they were on a slave, they were, imposed to the most horrific and most wicked actions, on the plantations. We can commemorate them. On the 30th of November, we have our day. Not only do we have our day, but guess what? It's criminal. What they did is criminal. Okay? It's criminal. And this is what is so important, is that it is criminal. Okay? So the AU has intensified its stance. I'm going to tell you one more time, has intensified its stance, on historical injustice by officially recognizing colonization, apartheid, and the transatlantic slave trade as crimes against humanity, and in some interpretations, genocide. This move is a part of the 2025 to 2026 decade and push to secure reparatory justice, to establish a formal African Day of Tribute on 30th of November, and also to demand accountability from the former colonial powers. Now, listen, I've said it. I don't even know what to say, BlaXit family. You got anything to say to me? Do you have anything to say to me on this? What do you have to say to me on this? You must have something to say to me on this. I know we got disrupted so many times. And if I have to, I'll go onto the main channel and make a program on it where I can't be disrupted. You understand? I'll pre-record it and put it on. Because this is an important day. This is an important, memorable day. This is not just a day. Why do I keep saying day? This is an important momentum for the decade of reparations. So I want us to celebrate. Everybody get a glass, let's get a glass. Let's get a glass. Let's have a toast. Here's to our reparations. Here's to the AU. Here's to all the African nations uniting, coming together in order to formally acknowledge the injustices that was done to us. Because colonization, we are still a part of colonization. This country has only been independent for 61 years. We are still a part of colonization. And still we have to abide by their laws. We still have to abide by the political systems. We're still entrapped by their financial systems. We're still entrapped by their economic systems. We're still entrapped by their educational systems. We're still entrapped by their religious systems. We're still entrapped by their socio-economical governmental systems. We're still entrapped by their political systems. We're still entrapped by their media. We're still entrapped by their social systems. We're still entrapped by the poisonous mindset that they've given to many of us that makes us feel less than. With colorism, tribalism, division. So let's celebrate this November 30th. Let's start making plans. Let's have a big festival here in Africa. Let's do something. Let's do something. I mean it. I mean, seriously, we have to do something. And I want you to celebrate today. Have a toast with me. Get a drink. Have a toast with me. Get a drink. Have a toast with me. Get a drink. Let's celebrate. The African Union has intensified its stance on historical injustices by officially recognizing. I'm going to start again. The African Union has intensified its stance on historical injustice by officially recognizing colonialism, apartheid, and the transatlantic slave trade as crimes against humanity, and also, in some interpretations, genocide. This move is a part of the 2025-2026 decade against colonization, and to push to secure reparatory justice, to establish a formal African Day of Tribute, which is going to be on the 30th of November, and to demand accountability from former colonial powers. It doesn't get better than that. Doesn't get better than that. How do you feel about it? Tell me in the comment section. Now, my comment section is frozen, so I'm going to need your help, Kath. Now, I don't know why, but I can't see your comments, okay? I apologize. I don't know what's happened today. We've been stopped so many times as well. But listen, I'm going to end on that. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it again because I want it to really sink in, right? And I want you to celebrate. Cheers, okay? This is for us. This is a celebration. Okay, and I want to say Jeda Jeff, Baraka, yeah, Jarama. Thank you so much to all of the African nations that came together in unity to make this decision. And thank you for the important summit that you had, which adopted it, okay, in Addis Ababa on the 14th and 15th of February. It's very, very important. And now we're going to formalize it. So listen, onwards and upwards, BlaXit family, onwards and upwards. I told you Africa is the place to be. Africa's making moves. If you want to come to Gambia, if you want to join me, I've moved, I've built my house, I'm living, I'm loving my life, and I want you to come and join me. And I'm trying to make it as affordable and easy as possible for you to make that transition. I'm also here to guide you across, okay? I feel quite emotional, I'm not gonna lie. I really do. I really do, because I've been waiting for this moment. I've been waiting for this moment. I also want to say congratulations to my daughter as well on her NACCP presentation of appreciation and acknowledgement. Congratulations to you. Very proud of you, okay, and what you're doing. Keep on doing it. Keep making us proud. We're all making our moves in our own directions. And thank you, of course, to all of my children who are all doing fantastically well. So I'm going to say it one last time, okay, because this is so important for you to recognize the gravity, the humongous importance of what is happening, the importance of this move. This move is big moves, big moves, big moves. I don't know. I can't see your comments. I'm sorry. I don't know what YouTube is like doing this week. I don't understand it. But let's just keep moving forward. That's what we can do, is just keep moving forward. Forwards ever, backwards never. Let me tell you again, the African Union, if you didn't hear, you wasn't there before, the African Union has intensified its stance on historical injustices by officially recognizing colonialism, apartheid, and the transatlantic slave trade as crimes against humanity, and in some interpretations as genocide. This move is a part of the 2025 to 2026 decade, which is for repatriatory justice. And it's a push to secure repatriatory justice to establish a formal African Day of Tribute. And that is finally to acknowledge us, okay, which is on November the 30th, and to demand accountability from former colonial powers. And it's time for us to call for them to be accountable. It's time for them to, to pay up. It's time for them to do the right thing by us. And they don't know what that is, so we have to show them, okay? We have to show them. So for everybody that's been out there, and congratulations, McConnell. I want to say congratulations on the International Book Project for your nomination as well. Congratulations. I was hoping that you could join me. Maybe we can do another live and you can join me. I wanted to say congratulations to you, McConnell, on your nomination. Congratulations to you. You're doing hard work out there, and you deserve it. And congratulations on your books as well. Okay, and of course, Rastafari, to all the Rastafari movement, congratulations, because they have been fighting for reparations for many, many years, as have members of my family as well. And so many of the grassroots organizations and reparations movements. I just want to say, keep going, keep pushing, keep moving. All the organizations out there, all of those individuals that are also not a part of an organization, but you are pushing for reparations, congratulations to you. Today is a day to celebrate, a day for us to, find our grind, and now find our grind. Okay, now is the time to start working together. Now Africa is behind you. Africa is behind you in calling for repatriatory justice. Understand that. That is what it means. Africa. Gosh, I'm so sorry. I feel emotional. Sorry. It means Africa. It means Africa is with us. Africa hasn't forgotten us. Sorry, I feel quite emotional about this, because I've been on many a march, many a protest, many an interview, many TV studios fighting against colonialism, fighting for our reparations, fighting for justice for us. And now we know that Africa is united. Africa is united in this fight with us. I might not have many millions of followers or many millions of views or anything like that. And I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing this because I want us to unite. I want us to come forward. And I want us to get justice for our ancestors. And this symbolizes the biggest move in justice for our ancestors that has happened in years. I tell you, I'm so emotional. I probably shouldn't have done today's live. Can't stop crying. because it's so important for me. This has been my life's work. This is my life's work. Other than being a mum, which is so important to me, this is my life's work. And just seeing that Africa is united and agree to say that it's a crime, because it has been a crime. Our ancestors suffered. Our ancestors suffered. And they weren't even given a formal day. They weren't even given a formal day. And now, finally, they have their day. The 30th of November. Oh my gosh. I'm so moved by this. Honestly, I think it's my ancestors making me, pushing me to cry a bit today. I'm just so grateful to be alive and to be in Africa at this very moment in time when this is happening. I am so grateful. I am so thankful. I really am. I've walked, I've shouted, I've screamed, I've protested, I've written, I've typed, I've written articles, I've pushed forward, I've done, so much to push this forward and to see it now. And I've done it without being really political. But now to see it and to live it, I just want to say thank you to all of the African member states for making this a reality. It's been a long time coming and we deserve it. We deserve it. So BlaXit family, I could only apologize for being emotional. You know what it means? It means forwards ever, backwards never. It means progress, fam. Progress like we've never had. We're going to fight this. We are going to get our reparations. And as Brother Eugene told you last week in America, certain people are already getting reparations. They are, because they've been able to prove their historical claim. And why should we? They should already know. So let's just keep fighting, keep moving forward. And I'm telling you, this has moved me too. This has moved my heart. I can't stop reading it over and over again. I am so moved. I'm so moved, and you should be moved also. You should be moved also, because this is history in the making, fam. This is history in the making. All of the African nations have got together unifiedly and agreed, right? That they have the AU, let me read it one last time, I'm going to close up, but the AU, the African Union, has intensified its stance on historical injustices by officially recognizing colonialism, apartheid, and the transatlantic slave trade as crimes against humanity, and in some interpretations, genocide. And they also made this move to make the 2025-2026 reparatory justice and declaration of I'm just so emotional. A decade of reparatory justice, a push to secure reparatory justice and to establish a formal day. We're going to have our day for our ancestors finally, which is going to be a formal national holiday, right, for our ancestors, and it's called African Day of Tribute, and it's going to be on November the 30th, and we're going to be able to demand accountability from former colonial powers. Now listen, forwards ever, backwards never. Said in Nkrumah. Marcus Garvey said, yeah, Africa for Africans, home or abroad. Africa for Africans, home or abroad. I can't see your comments, and I'm really sorry. Of all the days today not to be able to see your comments, today of all the days to constantly, have interruptions in the broadcast, I don't know what's happening, but I hope you get the message that it's time to unify. It's time for us to take our stance on reparations. It's time to use reparations to make our repatriation. You should be having your money so you can have a choice. You can come back to Africa to live in peace and happiness and harmony and serenity. But most of all, to live in peace And that's so important. I've never been happier than when I moved to Africa. My happiness means a lot to me. I've never been more happy, but this has made me so happy. I said tears of happiness today. Here's the tears of happiness, tears of happiness, tears of happiness today. I shed tears of happiness. I've had the most craziest week with so many things happening to team members and stuff. And imagine this all happened in the same, it's been bittersweet. But listen, anyway, I love you, BlaXit family. And the most important thing is that you love yourself, okay? And that we love ourselves. Let's not bite into the white is right rhetoric, yeah? Let's bite into the right is right rhetoric. And let's also start supporting each other, loving each other, building together, developing together. And remember, you can always contact me via WhatsApp on +220 mod. Can you put it in there because I can't see the comments? +220 240 5273. I'll say it again slowly. +220 240 5273. And like I said, today has been an emotional one because this is history in the making. I don't know what to say. You know, the fact that I'm here living in Africa, living my best life, enjoying my life, and being able to witness this huge. It's like it's monumental. This is monumental. I can't even find the words to express what I want to say, but this is monumental. And I'm going to read it one last time before I go because it's having to seep into my cerebellum. I swear it has to seep into my cerebellum because I'm reading and I'm so emotional. But the African Union has intensified its stance on historical injustices by officially recognizing colonialism, apartheid, and the transatlantic slave trade as crimes against humanity. And in some interpretations, genocide. This move is a part of the 2025 to 2026 push to secure reparatory justice, to establish a formal African Day of Tribute, which is going to be on November the 30th. And so this is our time of action, day of action. Excuse me, I'm doing my live, sorry. Yeah, day of action, and to demand accountability and accountability from formal colonial power. So I got distracted. So let's celebrate. So whatever you're doing, cheers. Hey, I'm drinking my water. And you know, definitely pour some libation to the ancestors tonight, because please remember your ancestors, okay? Because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here. You know, give thanks to your divine parents, you know, or whoever you worship, or if you're in Ramadan, I hope that, you know, you are doing your thing. If you are a Christian, whatever you worship, you know, whatever you do, you know, give a thanks to your supreme creator, whoever that may be, or to the universe, or the creative force, whatever you want to recognize. But you know, give thanks to the ancestors without a doubt. You understand, because this is a result. This is a big result. So, BlaXit family, I'm going to say I'm going to love you and I'm going to leave you. And remember that we are one patient. We are one people, and this proves it today. You know, Africa has united, and a formula united front for our justice. Okay, for the justice for our ancestors, for the justice of Africans. We are one people, one destiny, one union, one love. And I'll see you next week. Same place, same time. And I won't be emotional as I am today, because this news is groundbreaking. And I want you to go and tell everybody that you know about this news and share it. I also put it on the community page, so go have a look. Oh, I love you, BlaXit family. I love us so much, and I love being in Africa. So if you want to join me in Africa, you'd like to repatriate, we have 16 new repatriation plots, 10 of which we are allowing you to pay in installments, okay? So you can pay as you go, okay, over a good period of time. So you can still have your piece of Africa for your legacy, for your generation, for the next generation and the next generation. This is land in perpetuity. Okay, you can come, you can build, you can get out of Babylon, because listen, they designed the whole system against us, let's just say. Yeah, they designed it. They called it the 40-hour system. They designed it to keep you under their control, but you can escape it. Okay, if I can escape it, anybody can escape it. If you want to know how to, get in contact with me, okay? Plus 220-240-5273. I told you, don't know what happened to our email. Our email's been down. They're not responding to me. I don't know what to do. So I'm going to get a new one with regard to the website. So that's plus 220-240-5273. Okay, and like I said, I send well wishes to BlaXit production team. You know, I hope you'll make a quick and speedy recovery. And of course, many happy returns to my beautiful daughter. And of course, thank you to Team BlaXit for always being there. And BlaXit family, I love you so much, and I am so grateful to you. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. So I would like to say thank you so much. And of course, to all African member nations, including, of course, our own President Adam Barrow, who obviously agreed with this. And thank you also to all the African member nations, onwards and upwards. And of course, to Captain Ibrahima Traore, keep moving forward, brother. Also to the presidents of Mali, Guinea, Niger, and Namibia, keep moving forward. Let's keep moving forward. Let's keep moving forward. Okay, thank you so much. I've got so many interruptions. Oh.